house of somebody, it's hard to let yourself go. It can be difficult to lay your life down and humble yourself and rid yourself of the disease of ego, pride, and comparison.
You're sitting around asking yourself what exactly it is that you want to do with yourself and what exactly makes you so special and so unique.
And boys and girls, the questions you ask yourself will determine the course of your life. I had been asking myself, what do I need to do to get rich? And it left me really unhappy.
We don't take care of that other. We don't do the things that are necessary to polish it. And what that means is that you got to get back, and then you got to get up. You got to recognize that everything doesn't always work the same way all the time. And this is why you've got to understand in life, it's always going to change. And you've got to be able to adapt to the changes that are happening day in and day out. So sometimes you get lonely, sometimes you get frustrated, sometimes you are afraid.
In competition, it's difficult. It's hard to be creative. It's hard to be an introvert. It's hard to be an extrovert. Singleness can be difficult. Marriage can be difficult. Raising your children on your own can be difficult. It's hard to wake up early. It's hard to wake up late. But there's a reward on the other side of waking up early. If you wake up late, you've lost too much daylight. What somebody else did before you woke up, now you only have a fraction of the day to get it done. There's a reward on the other side of one pain, and there is regret on the other side of the other pain. And if you're going to win the reward, you're going to have to persevere. You're going to need endurance. You're going to need to be consistent. And on the other end of the pendulum, there is the pain of regret.
You're probably sitting around wondering how you could be like somebody else, or look like somebody else, or maybe even follow the same path that other people follow. Let me let you in on a little secret. Nobody gonna do you better than you. You have to realize that what makes you unique is when you start to realize that you are a unique individual. They always go around saying that imitation is the best compliment. There's no reason for you to imitate anyone. Now maybe you can find yourself in a position where you can be inspired by others.
Where you did nothing because you were afraid you would make a mistake. The pain of regret will hurt you. So choose your heart. Make a decision. I want the pain of finishing something. I want the pain of persevering. Give me the pain of forgiving my haters. Give me the pain of forgiving people that tried to kill me. Give me the pain of letting it go. Give me the pain of growth. Give me the pain of acquiring new skill sets and talents. Give me the pain of managing my time well. Give me the pain of waking up early. Give me the pain of praying when I didn't feel like it. Forgiving when I didn't feel like it. Letting go. Give me the pain. I'll take that pain because on the other side of that pain, there is a reward. Every single day of my life, I'll take reward.
But at the end of the day, you have to figure out what makes you tick, what makes you unique, what makes you special. You can't put yourself in a position focusing on what other people are doing, and if you feel that that's the direction you need to go. And maybe your uniqueness may not satisfy other people. The fact of the matter is you got to be unique within yourself, and you got to believe in yourself. Just think about it. Take a moment and think about it. There are a lot of things that you see on television, YouTube, you name it. And you ask yourself, how did this person get to that level? What is it that they got that I don't got? Well, maybe they don't have what you have, and maybe you don't have what they have. But long as you have the right attitude and the right mind frame to understand that maybe it's just not your time yet.
Winning requires intention. Winning requires disciplined success. Is the external reward of mastering your inner game. Are you in a position to quit? Or you're in a position to go harder? Are you in a position to go stronger? Are you willing to dig and go as far as you can? In your life, You're willing to suffer. Can you hide yourself in your books? Can you hide yourself in your closet? Can you hide yourself in the prayer rooms? Can you hide yourself?
So I changed the question, and I started asking, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing? The second law of thermodynamics is that everything moves towards entropy. Life is chaos. It takes an inhuman amount of effort to bring order to that, to find success in the middle of that. So while I cannot promise you success, I can promise you failure. I cannot promise you happiness, but I can promise sadness. So if you know those are the guarantees and the other things are the things you have to strive for, you better be striving in service of something that in and of itself is interesting to you.
I think a lot of it is based on just the consistency. You know, it's one of the things that I talked about recently on the podcast. I said, you know, like blowing something off, it's not just not good, like blowing off an exercise that you planned is not just bad for you physically, it's also bad mentally, because then that option is now available. And you did it before, and you're probably going to do it again, and you'll get mediocre results, not just in that aspect of your life, but maybe in all aspects of your life. Because I think that you might choose when it comes to dealing with conflict in your personal life, dealing with business decisions, dealing with career decisions, like an uncomfortable decision that you might be faced with, where maybe you need to make a change as far as like what your pathway is in life.
Not believing in yourself is a losing battle, because either you won't try at all, or you will convince yourself that you can't do it. I'm talking to that man, that woman, that boy, that girl who feels the fire in their belly. It's time for you to shock the world. Success don't have many friends. Success doesn't hold on to many people. Success doesn't connect with everybody, because everybody doesn't have the ability to connect to success.
There's an awesome quote often attributed to Mother Teresa that says, "No one will act for the many, but people will act for the few." I started thinking about my mom and my sister. I had my six-pack abs, but they were profoundly overweight. I started thinking about my uncle who ate himself to death when I was 12 years old, and how much that scared me, and it made me sad. And it made me sad to see that there were millions, if not more than 1 billion people that were in the same kind of abusive relationship with food that my mom and my sister were. So I said, I don't know if it's a big business, but I know it's a big problem. And that's the problem that we're going to solve. And so we decided to build a totally new kind of company based around value. In 2014, private companies averaged 8% annual growth. We started Quest Nutrition in 2010, just as we were coming out of the Great Recession.
The inclination to be disciplined, that comes with momentum too. And I think both things, like you take a path, like the path of the healthy person. Like this is not, like your body is like a race car that you can juice up yourself. Like you can add the fat tires, you can add the improved suspension, you can beef up the horsepower in the engine. You could do all that yourself. Or you could just choose to have this shitty body that's always falling apart on you, because we're essentially ecosystems. You know, and we're in charge. This weird consciousness that has all this resistance and has all this inclination towards comfort and is what is in charge of making all these things happen that keep this ecosystem healthy. It's almost like if Earth itself had like a shitty manager. You know, if like there was a natural manager of Earth that was like, oh God, who cares if it rains?
When nobody's looking, when nobody's watching, when nobody understands the measure of passion that you carry, you keep going, don't stop, you're right there. You have to shift from being externally focused to internally focused. Do not yield to distractions. Focus on you. Why are you here? What is your destiny? One of the greatest tragedies in life is to live. You remember that there were so many people without a job to go to. You will remember this moment for the rest of your life. Now, here where things are slowly starting to come back. Not saying it's going to happen overnight, but there seems to be a little of a light. At the end of the tunnel, there seems to be an opportunity now. Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to take it for granted? Are we going to be more responsible? Are we going to be more caring? Are we going to realize that life is beautiful and And now that you've had this chance with all of the circumstances, that we have all faced lives where lost jobs were lost. People's mindsets are not in the right place. You feel that your freedom has been taken from you. You feel that this chance right now that you have is all you have left, and you want to make the most of you so. What do we do now as a people? Doesn't matter what you believe in, but what do we do now as a people? We're not starting over. We're going to start up